Good evening, everyone. It's 6 p.m. It's August 9th, and I'm going to call the City Council meeting to order. Please stand with me to say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, I'm going to call roll. I'll begin with you, Councilman Owen. Present. And Councilman McGoffin, I see you're online.
Present.
Thank you. Councilwoman Diamond.
Present.
Councilman Burns.
Present.
Councilwoman Kesty.
Present.
Councilman Allen.
Present.
And Councilman Lavaca.
Present.
Good, thank you. I am looking for an approval of the agenda. Do we have a motion?
Madam Mayor, I'll make that motion.
Madam Mayor, I'll take a second.
Thank you. So we have a motion by Councilman Burns, second by Councilwoman Diamond. Any discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed, same sign. Next, item E, consent agenda, items 1 through 5. Do we have a motion?
Madam Mayor, I'll make that motion.
Good. Do I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion by Councilman Burns, second by Councilman Owens. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Thank you. Motion passes. And just so you are all aware, sitting in the front row here is Catherine Olson, and you just confirmed her as our new Housing Authority Commissioner. Congratulations, Catherine, and thank you so much for being willing to do that. And thank you for coming in tonight. But she wanted you all to see her. Yep. She wanted you to be familiar with her. So thank you so much. Okay, we do not have the city administrator for his report, but I'm going to open it up to the staff over to our left. Would anybody like to present a report tonight?
Nothing here.
All right. Fire?
I just want to say thank you for working with us on this vehicle exhaust filtration system out of like 3, 4, 5 grants that we put out there. This finally we won one, so this will be nice to have, and we already have the company calling and asking when they can start working on this stuff, and we said after tonight, so we're hoping they'll be here next week and we'll have this stuff installed for the vehicles here in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So thank you.
Thank you. Mark?
Nothing to add,
Nothing?
Mayor.
Okay, Kelly?
Nothing to add.
All right, thank you. So we'll move on to council report. Councilman Owen?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I got a couple of things I'd like to address to Mark. I spent a couple of days, a few hours each day, down with the crew putting in the grease trap at the community center, and I want you to congratulate them. Those guys done a fantastic job, and I was really surprised. Each one knew exactly what he was supposed to do, and I was thinking, man, if I had these guys here, I would be more than happy to start a contracting crew. But we're really blessed to have those guys. They're stretched to the max. They always get the job done, and they do a good job. And I want you to pat them on the back. And it'd be nice if we could get those people here before the council and reward them some way, because they do work hard. And they get the job done, and they do a good job, and they don't moan and groan and complain. So that's all I have to say.
All right, thank you. I'll go up to Councilman McGoffin. Do you have anything to share this evening?
Thank you, Madam Mayor. No report this evening.
All right, thank you. Councilwoman Diamond.
Nothing this evening, thank you.
All right, thank you. Councilman Burns.
Only one thing tonight, Madam Mayor. Just want to remind everyone, Helping Hands is having their Leaders 2023 on September 30th. They're still looking for people to attend and sponsorships. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And Councilwoman Kesty.
Thank you. On behalf of the Sedro-Woolley Museum, you are all invited to the unveiling of the Upper Skagit Tribe exhibit and presentation by Scott Schuyler, August 19th, 2023 at 2 p.m. So we hope to see you there.
All right, thank you. That'll be exciting. Councilman Allen.
Tonight, just one thing, Madam Mayor, I want to give you a shout out for giving us a call on the Skagit Motel. I never got any calls on it, but it would be pretty embarrassing if I didn't even know it happened. So anyway, I appreciate that. And,
Absolutely.
passing it on to the members of the council.
All right, thank you. Councilman Lavaca.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I just wanted to thank everybody for showing up to the events in our community. We have quite a few, and we have some are still active. However, there is Skagit County Fair going on too, so it's always great to just support the entire county and show up for those and have some fun this weekend. So hopefully everybody's able to do that.
Good, very good, thank you. And I just have a couple things tonight. First off, we are going to be putting out for an application for planning commissioner. If you know anybody who lives within city limits who you think might be interested or good at the planning commission, please encourage them to call City Hall or go online and fill out the application. We have had one who's already put in his resignation for the end of the year, so we'll need to fill that. The other thing is mentioning, Councilman Allen mentioned the motel. I wanted to thank all those who were involved in that. That was a really difficult decision that was made with some really hard evidence that we had to look at and deal with, but I wanted to thank the Skagit County Health Department for leading the way. I want to thank Family Promise and Community Action and for being there, and Helping Hands, who came and they actually stored, they put on, I guess it would be pallets, people's items, and they shrunk them, wrapped them, shrunk them, and they are storing them for people who need to do that. So not an easy day, but it went smooth, and yeah, we'll just see what the results are with the testing that comes in. So just so you're all not aware of that. Okay, that's all I have for this evening. We'll move on to public comment and try to keep it to 3 minutes. Yes, and I know, Andy Dugan, I know you have something. I see I have your name on the list here. You did sign up, so please come forward. If you can give your name and address, that'd be great.
Yes, my name is Andrew Dugan. My office address is 325 Pine Street, Suite A in Mount Vernon in 98273. I am the executive director of Skagit Legal Aid. Skagit Legal Aid expands access to the civil justice system, and we work to eliminate barriers that perpetuate injustice, poverty, and racism. We maximize our impact with limited resources through the delivery of effective, economical, and client-informed civil legal services. We assist underrepresented and underserved people in the Skagit Valley access legal solutions because we believe that resolving civil legal needs for our low-income neighbors makes our community a more equitable, happier, healthier, and safer place for us to live and work. We prioritize our services to historically underrepresented and underserved peoples in the greater Skagit Valley, including tenants at risk of homelessness. We serve tenants as their appointed counsel during court proceedings and serve as legal advocates to prevent evictions and promote housing stability. Since 2020, we have represented at least 104 tenants in Sedro-Woolley. Our whole mission is in pursuit of a just and equitable system. Unfortunately, I am here to speak to this distinguished council for the first time in my life about the mass homelessness-inducing event that occurred on August 3rd that does not fit into our vision of a just and equitable system. On this day, the city sanctioned the single largest mass eviction event in Northwest Washington in recent memory. The city gave most tenants, many of whom were long-term residents, less than 24 hours' notice. Affordable rental properties remain out of reach for many low-income people in the Greater Valley. Sedro-Woolley is no exception. Many hard-working individuals and families rely upon a motel as their long-term residence. There's nothing inherently strange or wrong with this. It makes a lot of sense if you think about it, given the lack of affordable rental properties and the lack of people's available savings to pay the upfront costs to move into a new home. The Skagit Motel in Sedro-Woolley is one of those places that dozens of people called their homes for years until last week. During the city-sanctioned mass homelessness creation event on the morning of August 3rd, dozens of people scrambled to place all of their personal belongings into their vehicles, if they were fortunate enough to have a working vehicle, before the city government locked them out of their homes. This included families with children, elderly people, disabled people, and many of our hardworking neighbors. Most of these people had no other place to go. Most did not have savings for another place to immediately move into. Many are now experiencing homelessness. Many of these individuals remain homeless at this very time due to the city's actions. Just imagine if you were given less than 24 hours' notice to move all of your earthly possessions to an indeterminate location. This is cruel, traumatic, and unreasonable. This caused lifelong harm that can never be erased. We have spoken to many individuals that survived this event. None share the mayor's rosy summary that was espoused several minutes ago. Unfortunately, many people in the community have been affected by drug addiction. Some of us may even have neighbors who have been using, distributing, or producing these harmful substances, which result in the police department executing a search warrant or the public health department determining their neighbors' units to be uninhabitable. Only the many tenants of the Skagit Motel can now say that they've been evicted with less than 1 day's notice. The city failed to respect the rights of the residents of the Skagit Motel as human beings. This city-sanctioned mass homelessness-inducing event is an egregious violation of human rights and will be a dark stain in the city's historical record. I am happy to answer any questions that you may have.
We don't take Q&A during public comment. Thank you, though. Anybody else for public comment?
Good evening, Mayor and Council. My name's Alan Henderson, 842 Ferry Street, and then I'm also representing 1000 Metcalf, Sedro-Woolley Eagles. Last week, or not last week, but last meeting, you guys voted to approve $140,000 of COVID relief monies for the revitalization of the storefronts, or something to that effect. It came to the amount of up to $10,000 for businesses and $5,000 for nonprofits. As a service organization, we are a nonprofit, yet we pay a lot of taxes to the city, such as sales tax and our gaming taxes, for example. We have to pay those quarterly, the gaming. But anyways, I just am kind of wondering why the nonprofits would receive less than what the businesses do, since we generally pay about the same city tax rate that they do. The only real break we get is in federal, which is substantial, but the rules for how we can make money are also incredibly different. So if that's the way you guys are going to spend the money, maybe we can relook at rewording it and re-pushing it through. I don't know. My other question is, what else can the money be used for? What relief is being offered to the taxpayers and not just the businesses? I think it's great that businesses are getting help, but taxpayers need help too. Helping households is part of the use of funds agreement that I saw. So maybe in the future we could think about some kind of a tax break or something, whether it's in utility taxes or anything else, just to help people's monthly bills. Last meeting there was a really constructive conversation between the council members on how to best spend the money. The conversation was cut a little short, and for me, these people, especially the two gentlemen sitting at the end, directly represent both my ward and then the city council at large. I would have liked to hear more about what the council had to say about that. As somebody who's represented by them, I felt a little slighted that the conversation was cut short because it was getting very interesting. And I'd just like to see more transparency on how the monies are being spent in the future. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else? Yes.
Pretty cool, there I am. Hi, my name's Dennis O'Neill. I reside at 107 Talcott Street, Sedro-Woolley. I've been a voter and a citizen in this town since 2005, which is, I guess, only 18 years. Not really that long. I talked a month and a half ago, in regard trying to ask why the budget wasn't better reviewed as on an ongoing basis to find out, to learn why, or maybe how you could cut back the budget and cut back possible tax increases in the future. Didn't really hear anything back yet, but I do know that we've now got another tax levy lid that is not what the state of Washington has ever planned for, because they limited property taxes to 1% per year. And that has already been exceeded by the passage of the levy lid number 1, which raised over $4 million? We still don't know where that money's really going yet. I don't, never heard of it, just general talk. I think that would be a wonderful thing to put together, tell us where the money's going, put it on the ballot, so that will ensure it going to where you say it's going. Otherwise, I know the council can come back and change that. So I'd like to see that on the ballot. I doubt if I'll see it, though. Maybe a few examples, but I'm voting against the higher taxes until I can see where the last 4 years, let's say, or even the last 2 years, where the money's gone that has been raised. I'd like to see what was proposed and what the actual amounts were, and you should also demand that as council members. That's how you find out if it's working or not. All the rest is verbiage, and I suspect most of this is just verbiage. No offense to the mayor, really not, because I know she works hard, but the last time I was up here, there was a talk of about a $3,500 bonus, and if I remember correctly, probably even the recording will show that most of you weren't even aware what that was, for the mayor. And it was a lot of people saying up there that they weren't going to vote for that. That was sort of a dead issue. So I get a copy of, again, pay scales, and it shows $3,500 bonus being paid to the mayor. And I just don't know if anybody up there's got a backbone or if more information came forth. I know you all work quite hard. I know you haven't had a raise in 20 years or something of $500 a month. I don't know why that is. I don't know why the changeover is there, and I don't think you do either. And I know a number of you are this is your last term, the last few days you have. So anyway, I know you did your best, and thank you for your time, Mayor. And
All right, thank you. Anybody online? Just unmute yourself if you do. All right, not seeing that. We'll end public comment. It is 6:18. We'll move on to new business, and we have only one item on the business tonight, and that's the Transportation Improvement Board grant application. Mr. Freiberger, you're on. Sure, that'd be great. Thank you.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. This memo discusses the annual call for transportation grants through the Transportation Improvement Board. They have 3 separate programs that they accept grants for each year. There's the Urban Arterial Program, which allows us to build our major road projects. We have a UAP grant for the roundabout project on Highway 9 at McGargle and John Liner Road. And then there's their arterial pavement program, which we have been pretty successful at getting on an annual basis. This year we're paving Cook Road, basically from the Ferry Street roundabout to the west city limits. And then they have an urban sidewalk program, and we received an award from that program this last time for the SR20 Cascade Trail Extension Project from Holtkamp to Hodgen, which is under design right now as well. So this year we've applied for We're planning to apply for 2, or at least that's what we're recommending your approval to do. Under the urban program, we were successful with receiving about $1 million grant from the Skagit Council of Governments for federal funds for the arterial improvements on John Liner Road from Township Street to Reed Street. It's part of the overall Jones-John Liner corridor improvements project I've been talking about for several years now. It will add curbs and sidewalks and drainage, a shared use path on the north side and a sidewalk on the south side. It's about 1,700 lineal feet. And that'll tie in with the improvements that the roundabout will make at the intersection at Highway 9. Grants are, and the other project we're applying for is another of the arterial preservation program, and that one will be for Reed Street. We have in our TIP, which you saw back in June and approved, the next paving project that we have on the list is improvements for Reed Street from Highway 20 north to Sap Road. The total length is too much to fund in one particular year, but we've applied for 2 segments this year from Highway 20 up to John Liner Road and then up from there to Brickyard Creek. They may award parts of that or the whole thing. The numbers are in the memorandum there. Each of those grants requires local funds for match. On the arterial project for John Liner, we fortunately meet the match requirements with what we've already allocated for the federal funds through SCOG, so we don't have to allocate any additional funds for that one because the federal funds actually act as match as well. For the arterial pavement project, we have a match requirement there, which was stated in the memorandum. It's about $83,000. I have, as I usually do, as we bring these grants forward, have looked at all of our transportation funds. You have a memo attached to the memo, a summary of that. And we're good to go for these additional grants if they are awarded. We have them in the TIP, and we have the capacity to do the work. So I'm recommending your approval for the mayor to sign and for us to submit these 2 grant applications as noted in the memo. And I'd be glad to address any questions you might have.
Are there any questions for Mr. Freiberger? Councilman
Thank you.
LaVaca?
Thank you very much, Madam Mayor. Mark, you said that in the past they usually don't do grants every year consecutively. They'll wait, they'll jump a year or whatnot. Do we stand a pretty good chance of getting that? And I know that there's been some people that have asked for better sidewalk capability along State Street, especially getting to the community center, the library, things like that. Is that in the program as well?
Well, it is in the program, actually, and we have a TIB, a Complete Streets grant. It's a $500,000 grant that we got 2 years ago that we used a portion of that money to assist the county in funding the new pedestrian crossing on Cook Road there at Janeke Playfields. That used about $130,000 of that. The remainder of that have set for 2 sidewalk projects that will be designed hopefully this winter, staffing pending, that will fix a section of sidewalk going into the Central School area. It's pretty bad shape. And then that section basically from roughly Haynes out to the community center. So that is included in our planning right now. So we have that funded.
All right. Any other questions? And Brendan, I don't see, you're not up on the screen. I'm wondering, do you have any questions for Mr. Freiberger?
I'm okay. No questions here. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. All right. If there are you looking for a motion tonight?
Yes. So we'd be looking for a motion tonight to authorize Mayor Johnson to sign grant agreement applications for the Transportation Improvement Board grant applications as detailed in the memorandum, and to commit transportation funding for local match requirements as detailed. And I'll just mention also that if these are awarded, this will come back to you in the form of the actual grant agreements, and you'll get a second look at this. We'll confirm all the funds at that time. So this is just the first in the process.
Okay, perfect.
I'll make a motion to put forth the Transportation Improvement Board grant application approval.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second that.
Thank you. So we have a motion by Councilman LaVaca, seconded by Councilman Allen. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Freiberger. Okay, that is it. Be sure to check out the informational items. We try to keep you informed, and also there is a council agenda or memo that went out that talks about what the different departments are doing. If you have any questions on those, please refer back to myself or to one of the staff. With that, there is nothing else. We are adjourned. Thank you.